controversy or something. They'll call it. They'll call it something gate, like
Watergate.
based off Watergate.
Lionsgate.
Well, Lionsgate's a company.
They're a controversy. I don't.
Was that Weinstein? Oh no.
No, that's just Weinstein.
He was the Weinstein company.
Mm-hmm.
But then he was before that, I think he was with Miramax.
Miramax.
We should have called this whole situation Cartergate.
Cartergate.
I'm embarrassed.
Hold on, before you go on, can I just say one thing?
Sure.
To the comment on the Instagram, they're just trying to move on. They needed a week off to get over how Aaron Carter didn't come on the podcast. You didn't see that?
I did.
Yeah. I got over it in 2 seconds. I don't give a shit. So there's that.
What I'm not over is...
I speak for myself, though.
Correct. Oh, I don't think about it. What pisses me off is the amount of fervor I went after it with.
Yeah, it was a lot of wasted energy in hindsight.
Yeah, and in hindsight, even I feel like a loser. I'm like, is this lame? Because I don't think people understand that's like the exact opposite of how we really are and what we really want to be. And had I known we'd catch this man in the middle of a literal mental breakdown, I would have never approached him. I didn't know he went on live every 5 seconds. I thought, hey, I caught him. Cool. He's fucking...
At the time, yeah.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed by it.
It's okay.
I don't know, but then at the same time, I also think I just wanted more fans to listen to our podcast.
I was with you.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, that's all it was.
I still, though, my guilty pleasure, because I want to see his fucking scum ass taken down.
Well, thank God for your guilty pleasure because of what you just told me about the dogs.
Yeah, for those who don't know.
And now I fucking hate him.
Yeah. Apparently this has been going on for a while, but him and his mother illegally are basically a 2-person puppy mill. More recently they bought pugs, I think like 7 of them.
God damn it.
Get them
What's
all.
up, Jay?
What?
It's from Men in Black, the pug.
Oh, I like him. I thought he should have a cuter voice than that.
No, I like his voice.
Nah.
What's up, Jay? Oh, come on.
Well, I'm sure that pug is treated a lot better than the Carters. For those who are a little unfamiliar what a puppy mill is, essentially you get dogs, I'm getting a phone call. I hate that feature that it's linked up to my phone that way.
Oh, it was coming from the computer.
Yeah, but it's going on my phone too.
Oh.
It scares me because I'll be sitting here typing up something in a podcast, and then Amber Alerts also go to my computer. I've had my headphones in, and even on silent, Amber Alerts just go.
You know when even a more awkward time when those go off? At Gatorland doing the wrestling show.
Oh,
when
no.
It's dead quiet.
Yeah, but then
everyone gets an Amber Alert, and you just like mid-mouth open, you just hear...
That's creepy.
It's so creepy. And everyone like looks down, like turns off their phone in unison. It's weird.
I'm going to finish the Aaron Carter thing.
Yeah, keep going, sorry.
I was going to say Amber Alerts, since I was a child, just scare the living hell out of me. And sometimes we get them, it's like Amber Alert, Colorado. I'm like, maybe
what am I going to do?
Yeah, maybe they're supposed to be around here. I don't know.
They're on their way to Florida.
I don't know.
Silver alerts, too. One last thing on alerts.
What is a silver alert?
It's when an older person with cognitive issues is out and about and they can't, like, find them or something. So, like, when I'm on the highway, it's like, silver alert. Here's the tag. I'm like, oh, shit. And that's not good. They escaped the villages.
The perfect suspense movie. You look up and you see that thing, silver alert. You're like, huh. You look back down. Old guy just in the...
He's not even in a car. He's in a fucking motorized scooter.
We had a neighbor... at my parents' old house, Juanita. And when I was younger, we used to go... She's not Spanish. She's an old white lady. when I was younger, we used to go play in her field. And one time, this is actually really dumb in hindsight. One time, my friend Cody D'Amato and I were probably throwing cow shit at each other, and because when they're hard, they're like discs.
Oh yeah,
it's
the
not
cow
just
patties
like
and they harden up.
Yeah, we don't have just balls of shit.
I was gonna say that's pretty fucking nasty, dude.
And she like comes out, who's there? And we're like, oh shit. And she said, oh, I see ya. And we're like frozen. When you're a little kid, it's like, that's it. I'm going to prison for the rest of my life. And she says, come here, boys. And we go over. This is how kids get fucking stolen.
I know. Why don't you come over here for a second? I got a glass of lemonade for you.
That's exactly it. Not lemonade. I think it was like cookies, which is probably worse. She could have dosed us. And
here's a pear.
We go in, and she's got a very old lady house, but she was very nice.
Oh. Plot twist of the century.
Well, as I got older, so did she. And I had heard my mom mention that like she talked to her son, the Juanita's son, like, can you guys just, you don't have to go like check on her, but maybe just keep an eye out for something because she's starting to go mentally. And sorry, I shouldn't have had soda. And my grandmother, my mom's mom, kind of progressively had Alzheimer's up until she passed away. So it's something close to my mom. She's dealt with people like that. So she said, yeah. One night, I don't think we got a silver alert, but somehow it became common knowledge that Juanita is gone. And it's scary.
Yeah.
Even though she's an innocent old lady,
but she's just gone.
It's
scary. Like a horror movie.
I thought of a movie. You call it Juanita. And
you get James Wan to produce.
Oh my God. And the teaser trailer, because that's probably you and I's strongest creative point, is coming up with cool ass trailers, which I still want to do that.
You guys are throwing the disc and the door just.
Yes.
Boy.
I thought of someone's in their house. You kind of tease, like maybe on the news or something, or the cops come by. They're like, hey, have you seen Ms. Juanita? And Margot, you don't do this. You're going to pull the cord. And then you're like, no, I haven't seen her. You go. You walk back upstairs. You go in like, oh, all right, honey, I got to check on the baby. And you go in there, and you don't see her in the crib, and you just turn, and she's just sitting there holding your baby. Hello. Cut. I don't know. It freaked me out.
It would be freaky.
Alzheimer's is weird. That's a crazy...
Yeah.
Here's a question I have. People say I feel like I've heard it referenced to they died from Alzheimer's. Does it kill you?
You know, I don't know too much. I just know like eventually, I think it does. I think it just turns your brain off eventually.
I mean, that makes sense.
You ever seen the movie Still Alice?
No.
With Julianne Moore, and she gets
isn't it really sad?
It's really sad.
Damn.
Yeah,
no.
There's this scene where she they go to their summer house or whatever, and she in her house they go to every year. She can't find the bathroom to go pee, and like she's like struggling to find it, and then she just pisses her pants.
That's rough, dude.
Yeah, that was probably the most heartbreaking scene. Hey, Aaron Carter, you didn't finish the story.
So, sorry, I had to.
And of all people, I'm the one saying, "Finish the Aaron Carter story. I want to hear it."
Zach gets on to me sometimes when I get a little too deep down.
I
gotta
rein this fool in. Listen, Aaron Carter's not that important.
No, I just get.
But he stepped into the arena of abusing dogs, so now I'm concerned.
All right.
Again.
So they're a mini puppy mill, and I guess he went.
I want the world to know this.
He went to go
Our world.
Get his mom from a rehab in Florida. I assume down south they're from Tampa, but I don't really.
Fucking losers.
Yeah. Anyone who goes to rehab is a fucking loser and really just shouldn't be here.
That's not what I said, but they're from Tampa. That's what I meant.
Damn. Okay. That's hilarious. I'm the Ybor City bad boy.
Fucking shit stain.
So, set that stage. She just got out of rehab. I'll give you guys the events in order with each other, but I saw them differently. So, another live comes out. Him doing his lives is his own damn, downfall.
No, but we're playing his game. Don't forget that.
Right, he's the Joker.
Fucking douche.
And on there, he's like, Mom, all right, is this your last drinking day? Are you going to drink anymore? She's like, no. She's sloshed, dude. She's lit up.
This is on a live?
Yeah. And I mean, it's not, I don't think she's acting. He picked her up from rehab. And I'm not judging because I was the guy.
How is she going to be drunk in rehab, though? Like picking her up from rehab, but she's sloshed?
No. I guess they stopped somewhere.
Oh, okay.
And it happens. Trust me. I've seen it more times than I'd care to see.
They get it in.
Yeah. Worse than alcohol, too. People die in rehab sometimes from overdosing. So that happens. And I assume they keep going. That was like a daytime video. And then somebody posted on Twitter. I'm not watching his lives at this point because we're blocked on everything by him.
He must have cared too.
Yeah. And this is other people who are posting these videos. There are other people out there who are supremely dedicated to exposing him for what he is. And I admit, when I first saw that, I was like, oh man, I'm not that obsessed. Like I thought it was obsessive. And to a degree it is, but the more you look into it and you see the actual things he does that's proven and on video, why haven't we canceled him yet is like the thing. I guess he's not relevant enough to really cancel.
Right.
But he is becoming dangerous, especially with the accusations he's making towards his brother. It's not cool.
And more importantly, to canines.
Yes, I'll keep going. So there's a live, 2 different occasions where one of the little pugs.
That wasn't a thing to keep going. I was just saying, more importantly. But,
dogs?
Dogs.
I'll bring another point up here in a minute. His mom's sitting there. I assume he's off to the side doing something, snorting a line, who knows, and allegedly. And the dog comes up and is on the little center console, just like how dogs do when you have them in a damn car. They want to look at what's going on. The mom turns around and goes, hey, I can't really do it. She smacks the dog like I just dropped my vape on my damn dog. Margot loves vaping. She smacks the dog in the face. It goes flying into the back seat, and you hear, I'm getting another spam call, and it's pissing me off. It pisses me off. It's the feds saying, stop talking about Aaron.
I know.
And then the other one, dog.
Because the dog took a tumble.
It flew into the back seat, and you can hear the impact. It wasn't like come on. Like, even if I really was...
And it's a little dog. It's not like a big dog that can,
Yeah, and the circumstances 100% did not call for that. Like, if Margot was in a fight with another dog, like a big dog, sorry, gloves are off at that point. I might kick that dog just, to save my dog's life and to stop that dog from... Usually when dogs fight, that other dog's going to have to get put down because it killed another dog, So and especially my own life or the life of a loved one of mine, I'm choosing that over the dog.
Yeah, but this was not that scenario.
No, the dog was
being a dog.
Yes. And there's another time where she picks the pregnant mom pug up.
This is on video too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck.
We'll find it. And, I mean, I've seen it. I'll show you. And throws it into the back. It wasn't like she didn't peg it. I'm not trying to play this up more than what it actually is.
But something that probably shouldn't have been done.
At all.
That's like not even remotely.
Right. And
a pregnant dog? What kind of despicable human does that? That's the real question here.
The same one. No, this was his mother.
Must run in the family.
Yeah. I saw somebody posted.
I hope these fucking LMGs come after me.
They're delusional, by the way.
I know. They're what do we call?
Stockholm Syndrome?
Yeah. And it's almost like a fucking, you know what they remind me of?
Cult.
And the people who were at that one video we talked about, the Socialist Democratic Convention.
Yeah, comrade. To speak on that, his very delusional fan base, they are either trolling or so deeply in denial because they're like, she didn't even hit the dog. They edited that. And then I got to admit, I know I said, like, I don't feed into it. I commented, I was like, wow, we need to get this editor. That's Oscar worthy. And got a shit ton of likes. I'm big in the hating Aaron Carter community.
Dude, someone actually said that?
Yeah. You can go on the...
Dude, you know what it is? All these LMGs are just people who've gotten thrown his live and like are now obsessed with them.
Yeah. This is just...
You can do anything. You can do anything. Look at me. Look at me. I can do anything. I got a face tattoo. You can do anything. You can do it. Oh my God, you're so right, Aaron. Hangs up. Aaron Carter is my mentor. LMG. Get it on your forehead.
Some people would. There's something that happens. I did not fall into this dummy's spell. But you remember when I texted you, I got through on his live. It's exciting.
It is.
I'm not famous.
There's a rush.
He's famous. I've known about him. He was a superstar when I was a little kid. So in my head, I'm like, wow, he talked to me.
Which he was a little kid then.
Right. Oh, and that's the last time he was on any chart, even though he says, I've sold more records than, name a big artist. I think he said, like, I sold more records than Drake. Like, come on, bro.
Show me those numbers, please.
And even if you did, you were 7, dancing like you were a spectacle. And this is something I happen to notice. I don't want to get shit for saying this. And there's nothing really wrong with it on the fans' part. But on Aaron's part, I've noticed quite a bit of his really hardcore fans admittedly or are pretty obviously somewhere on the spectrum, autism. And you know what? I think if it was
really
different circumstances, I don't think there's anything wrong with crazy fan. I don't mean to say crazy. I'm treading on thin ice here, and I don't mean it in a bad way for them. I mean it in a bad way where he's manipulating them. And that's fucked. Because then he always says, like, LMGs, go get him. Like he's a fucking Ninja Turtle. And he starts like, I think all he wants
is
like
little assassins.
Yeah, but he wants these wars in his comment section so he can get a ton of comments. And
LMGs, activate.
That's it, man. It's just he's getting
put your rings together. Hey.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it.
Is that a Backstreet Boys song?
LMGs are back again,
that's his
hating
brother.
on your comments.
Is that Backstreet Boys or is that NSYNC?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know either.
It's a gay ass boy band like fucking Aaron Carter.
I was an NSYNC boy myself. Okay.
God, man, I'm spewing. I gotta stop. I'm hating hard.
Who cares? This is allegedly.
I'm a nice person.
This is
just too far.
It's apparently
the dog thing really crossed the line.
It's been going on for a while too. They said other dogs. It's been going on for a long time. And he's selling it from like a third-party Craigslist account saying, OMG, I have Aaron Carter's dog, but I can't keep it. Does someone want to own Aaron Carter's dog?
Oh, that's so...
Every time.
Oh, that's so fucked.
So somebody
What a scam artist.
He is selling merchandise that nobody has or probably will ever receive. And he gets the payments. The other day, here we go. I'm on my soapbox.
Dude, just spill it everything.
He booked a meet and greet show at some place in New York.
Never showed.
But this one account that's like, they're really on it. And I got to give them credit. They double, triple check everything. They're not just butthurt Aaron Carter fans. They're like, it's actually a couple people, they said, and they won't reveal their identity. It's some like anonymous shit. It's kind of, that's what fascinates me is they are on it. And I've been messaging them.
Might as well wear Guy Fawkes masks.
Yeah. I've been messaging them on Twitter for a while. Their account is What's the Truth 21. So if you're wanting to go down this Aaron Carter rabbit hole, go follow them because shit's getting real. It seems, I'm embarrassed because it's Aaron Carter. I'm embarrassed because I'm a grown man.
Like, why couldn't it be someone cooler? That's what I'm pissed about.
Yeah. I was more like, this is lame, I'm a loser about it until I learned much more information that is not just speculation. It's shit that's proven. There's DMs, there's time receipts, there's him threatening people in their DMs like, I'll fucking kill you. He hired some convict, like a felon character from Tampa to do everything he can to find out these people and dox them and send the LMGs to their house.
Oh my.
That's highly illegal. That's dangerous.
The LMGs.
It's so dumb. It's so lame on his part. And I wouldn't care this much if he was just being an asshole. We would have put out one thing once we kind of figured it out. Like, he's just a fuck. He's legitimately a dangerous guy, and I'm not playing this up. Go look. I don't spend all the waking hours looking at this stuff. It kind of falls in my lap. And the account that tries to take him down, I mean, they're on it. And I've been messaging them because it initially started. I was like, they were posting some stuff. I'm like, here's a video of Aaron Carter every time he promised to do our podcast and didn't. And they were questioning me like, are you just trying to get views off of us? Because that's not what we're going to do. We're not about that. And I give them some respect for that. I just don't want it to, I hate that. Now while I'm up, I don't give a fuck. I got to make sure this is recording. It is. Did I fuck it up?
Should be good.
Yeah, we're in a temporary spot for now. I'm house sitting for my parents, and we'll get a more regular situation. I don't like these chairs.
They're not bad.
I miss the white chairs.
Yeah, I haven't moved, though, because I'm like in a spot where it's like if I move, I'm going to lose my comfort.
Yeah. So I'd say podcast-wise, I regret the Aaron Carter stuff. But then you had like a good take on it. Because I was like going to delete everything. I was going to just ignore it completely. Because like I said, I got...
What was my take on it? What are you talking about?
You said, I mean, that's a part of our history. We didn't know. So don't...
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I'll defend that all the way. It's like, how the fuck are we supposed to know? I mean, it looked like a golden opportunity to capitalize on some fucking...
fuckery.
You know? Yeah, and like maybe gain some listeners. Of course.
Right.
I'm not going to... That's what was in my head. I was like, fuck yeah. This guy looks like he's crazy enough to do some lowball podcast. And that was the original goal.
What I'm going to love is in probably realistically 2 to 3 years when someone Savants skyrockets to the top he'll be hitting us up. Hey man, remember all that? Like, nah, I don't.
Who are you again?
I had I don't know if it was like a spin-off of the stuff with him. Oh yeah, but the event, they called the venue and they were like, "Who?" And people, it was $125 a ticket. He took people's money. But now, and allegedly,
So he never did the event.
no. But
So he lied about being booked?
he said I had to go, it was an emergency. I had to go pick up my mom from rehab.
I feel like that's his get out of jail free card.
My mom.
I feel like he could say that for anything, because what are you going to say to that? Oh, shit, I get it, man.
Can he say that for the, however many dozens of...
Like, for a family that supposedly hates him, or he hates his family, he really does take care of his mom.
I think she's in on the game, too. If you look back in the day, there was they did like a 60-minute special. This is when I was like, he was saying, I'm going to do the podcast. So Zach and I both wanted to do some due diligence and research. We want to be good interviewers. So he was like, all right, man, I'll hit you up. I'm free at like 2. So when someone says that, I know he's a crazy person, but I'm not going to.
What happened?
It said can't record.
Are we back?
I think so. I think we're...
Look, man, this is the price we pay at this level. It's fine.
My problem with a lot of things is perfectionism has been my downfall, and I think you've known that about me forever.
Yep.
But I still think it's good to aspire to excellence.
Oh, no.
And that's paid off for us in many ways. For those who don't know, that's like we do need a new camera, because
that thing's
how many times
ancient. That's a fossil.
It films pretty good video. How many times has that happened though? A lot, at least 4 or 5.
Oh yeah.
Where I got to get up and fuck with it. And even, here's the real reveal. All we record this into is GarageBand, and that can crash. And we did a podcast.
Yeah. And kudos to you, because you're the one that handles that shit.
I'm ready to throw my laptop through a window at some points.
There's got to be some software out there that's not that expensive to do this in.
GarageBand's older brother, Logic, is...
Was it like $50?
No, it's probably like $300 to $400.
Oh.
And
what does like other ones use? What does like Rogan use? Do you know? Have any idea?
No, I don't. I'm sure it's on there, but they have a whole broadcast system. They have a TriCaster, and I think there's other versions of this that we could get, but he's got Jamie, his producer, behind the scenes, not just pulling stuff up. Literally, I'm talking right now, so he presses that to be on me, and then you've got a really good point, so he clicks, and then it's on you, and then, all 3 people are laughing, so he'll zoom out and get the main... He's controlling 3 different...
the camera.
Yeah, sorry. He's controlling 3 different cameras, and I'd love to put a camera here, put a camera there.
Have Margot paw the switches.
Right. There's got to be a way to something like it knows, like it can pick up like this channel's talking, so go to this one.
Right.
And it would just hopefully, like, if we're talking over each other, it wouldn't like yeah. The other way I could do it, and this is like some inside podcast talk, it would be a bitch. An hour, I guess, wouldn't be that bad, but I have 2 recordings.
And then you edit it.
Yeah. It wouldn't be that bad.
No, because you got to think, it'd probably be long chunks of video, but then you want to get reactions. It's almost like making a fucking film.
Yeah, and I want to put out episodes as quick as I can. I'm hoping we can get to the point soon. I mean, I gotta settle all this probation stuff.
Dude, in due time, man.
Yeah, I want to want more guests. We had a good talk with one of Zach's friends he met through the acting world, and I went to edit it, and all of a sudden GarageBand's saying files corrupt.
Yeah, just
I have
technical issues, and that was a beast of an episode. It was 2 hours.
Yeah, and I mean that's really what's happened.
Beast for us.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I love doing this. Bless you. And
it's just like it takes a lot of work to like put out a quality level.
Yeah,
and sometimes shit doesn't always go right.
No, and there's people that are bigger than us.
We could do it because technically we could just record on our phone and then just post that.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But
It's not our style.
No, my idea is I want quality-wise to be up there with the Rogans and the big podcasts of the world. Because I've got a problem with you. That's a joke. I've got a problem with a lack of consistency. That's where you edge out me when it comes to acting. And you're your own worst critic, like, oh man, I haven't done that much. Yeah, but you've done acting we met in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Since then.
It's almost 7 years.
And I started acting, always kind of did music. Then I was like, the music's it. And I was like, no, I'm seriously going to try acting. Then I thought I wanted to make Christian music and didn't do that. Then I thought I was going to take over my dad's business. Didn't do that.
Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lambs, lambs, hogs, frogs, chicken, turtle, you name it. That kind? Christian music?
Sure.
Okay.
The remix of that is funny where someone puts a beat under it.
Dude, whenever I take the mic at work, when we do this mic steal, that's what I do on the mic because it's like freeform ad-lib at that point. I'll be like, say go. I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes. It's hilarious. Anyway, keep going.
The guy who remixed that on Instagram, I think his actual handle is Remix God Suede, but he's Suede the Remix God. Dude is first of all like a super talented producer, but anytime you see a viral clip going around, like one of my favorite ones is the girl who's watching this guy like tweak out in a parking lot, and she just goes, he needs some milk. Just very randomly. You can bank on an hour, 1 to 2 hours later, that dude's got a banger. He's made that funny clip into like this beat, and it is hilarious, but you're sitting there like, oh shit. Like some of these could be like the next big thing.
Yeah.
He didn't do this, but remember like the hide your kids, hide your wife?
Hide your kids, hide your wives, because they raping everybody out here.
The song?
Yeah.
That was like a catchy song.
It was.
So.
I'm snatching up these people up, hide your kids, hide your wife.
And apparently, kid, apparently
I'm on live television. Apparently.
So back to what I was originally saying before beans, greens, and potatoes. I've got a lack of consistency. But when it comes to, I heard you swallow, and it's just think about it picking up in the mic. It sounded.
I didn't swallow.
You did something. Maybe it was my dog. I feel something with this podcast. We've said that before, I think. Like, this is the one, or I don't know if we said that with Mornings with Millennials. We just were excited to be doing something. But this is what I want to do. I know I need to make money. I know I've got to do other things to, I'm going to burp, provide, and survive. But this is it. I don't care if people watch. We had one random dummy, I think it was an Aaron Carter fan. The one girl, she was going in on like
On Twitter, that one?
Yeah, and then she went over to Instagram and started private messaging us.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
What'd she say there?
I don't quite remember.
Fucking bitch.
The one...
Fucking wanker.
What I do every time with haters is... Because my instant gut thing is to be like, oh yeah, you fucking bitch, you fucking piece of shit. But it's way better to be clever and roast them and take them down. Yeah, she took it over to...
Is it the same picture? How do you know it was her?
Yeah, it's the same everything. Surreal Box... No, I'm not going to put her up on blast like that. If you really want to know, go to our Twitter. Surreal Box Cinema. Fuck it. She said on... Let's get the whole...
It's like celebrities reading mean tweets about themselves.
Yeah, and this is like the only mean tweets we get. Okay, I'll go to my profile.
We get quite a few.
Yeah. Let me see. Lord.
I hope she listened to this one.
I'm going to send it to her. You know what? Shout out to her. I guess she does photography. Good for you, sweetie.
What does she take pictures of? Cereal boxes?
No, they look like stock photos.
Oh.
So.
I don't know. I just thought cereal box.
Oh. Damn it. I gotta. I'm looking, people.
How many messages do you get?
It's not. This was on not messages, and I've gotten a lot of notifications. The Aaron Carter stuff, there's been like 100. Okay, here we go. Yeah, same girl on Twitter. Okay. Oh, it was Aaron Carter related. He sent, here, I'll just say this. He sent to somebody, you wouldn't know the truth about a goddamn thing if it walked up to you and punched you in the motherfucking face.
Who said that?
Keep talking, bitch.
Just to you?
No.
Oh,
I wish. No. I don't know who, it's a message and then that account posted it like, look how gross he is. And I, trolling a little bit, commented, hey, that's not very nice. And then someone said, glad to see y'all here. And I was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. We're not really gonna, I was saying like, we're not gonna.
What?
She deleted them. You bastard.
She deleted them?
They're gone.
Well, you fucking...
I wasted all my time scrolling and looking.
I thought she DM'd on Instagram.
Yeah, there's that too.
Oh, what did she say there?
Okay.
Was she saying that you embarrassed me on Twitter?
No, but she deleted them because she was like, very poor grammar, like your podcast suck type of shit. And then
yeah, your stalker podcast.
Yeah, what did I say? Because I went in. Yeah, she was like, I can try to fill it in. She said, honestly, your podcast sucks ass, but she did ass $$, $$.
LMG.
And then I tweeted, thank God you censored the word ass, otherwise we'd be offended. And then she said something, it's not about being offended. You need to do better podcasts. Actually, you know what? I know people are probably like, just fucking talk already. I sent it to you. Remember, I have screenshots. Okay, she said, it's not about offending you. It's about pointing out that you need to spend more time working your shabby stalker podcast. And I guess she's saying stalker because...
You stalked Aaron Carter.
I didn't stalk him.
Well, that's what she's implying. I didn't say you are.
Sometimes you. And then I replied... on this, her name is Lynn. I got her real name. I'm not going to do that.
Can I see the manager?
You can go find her on social. She said, I said, thanks for the advice, Lynn. With wisdom like that, it's no wonder you have such a massive Twitter following. She has, I think, 15 followers. And I almost was like, no wonder you have 15 followers, but I was like, we only have like 90. So I'll just say, I'll make it a little more exaggerated. And then I said, oh, and if we ever need some overexposed, poorly framed, and overall shitty iPhone photography, we'll reach out.
Oh, God. Straight boom roasted.
And then She said, like, you wish. Oh, this is the one. I when someone gets me, I'll give it up. She said, you wish my photography was shitty. It's better than what you do. The poop cast. And I thought that instead of podcast, like poopcast. To me, it made me giggle.
Oh, it made you giggle?
Yeah, and I said, damn it. It was funny. I said, damn it, that was actually funny. I want to be mad, but I can't. And then, there was another one.
The poop cast.
And then, did she delete this too?
She's probably like 12.
I don't know. She said something that was just completely unfunny. Like, she said poopcast, it made me laugh. I gave it up to her. And then she kept piling on of like, it was just really dumb. And I said, all right, you had one good one, then you got cocky because that one sucked. Don't get greedy. And then something else. And then she carried it over to Instagram.
Yeah, this is what I want to hear.
You wish my photography sucked, ho, but your podcast does. I've seen better podcasts in my grandma's living room. I said, damn, send me the link to that one. Sounds dope. And then I said...
She sounds like a kid.
Maybe. I said, you're relentless, but I'll respect it. And then she said, that was an old message from the other day. Truce. Cheers. So
she said truce?
Yeah. Because I was like, I started playing back. I wasn't a jerk to her, and she was probably like, oh, okay. That's the best way to disarm or handle people, I think, is with humor.
Oh, that's funny.
But there's definitely sometimes you just want to rip into somebody.
Oh, God. I wonder if she actually listened. She probably did.
That's the one benefit of
this whole thing.
Yeah, the Aaron Carter stuff is we did get some really good fans from it. Abby the Bear's from Aaron Carter. A couple of them are. People say, like, I saw you on his live, even though they might not have been his fan. Like, they were on his live.
Yeah.
And they're like, we made enough of a presence. And here's where I kind of circle back and really, I don't want to say justify, but I'm okay with what happened, is you hear the Gary Vaynerchuks and Les Brown. Remember his story? I went to the radio station every single day for a month and said, Mr. Butterball, I want you to hire me. We don't have a job for you. Went back the next day. I want you to hire me. Weren't you here? We don't have a job. Kept doing that till the guy was like, go get me a cup of coffee. Fine. And he got the job. Gary V's another one, just like persist, just go, go, go. And at one point, Aaron Carter even said, like, I respect the hustle.
Yeah.
But too bad he's a loon. He's a fucking blockhead.
Fucking blockhead loon.
So.
Oh God, man.
I unless something crazy happens, Carter Gate is officially over, I think. But the truth is, if he like messaged and was like, "I'll come on the show,"
No, you'd have to say no.
And then I'd post the message.
That's what you need to do.
Fuck this guy.
Yeah. Because that's what I would say.
Based on principle.
Based on principle. Come on, let's stay on principle here.
We started to turn into. It felt like we were starting. We did not. We definitely did not. But with some of the comments from his people and other people, like the guy you're butthurt about, Aaron Carter, like we're really not.
I go about everything normal.
I'm a little like, I feel like he made a fool of me, and I don't like that feeling. I'm not. It's not
right. If anything, that's what I would be. That's what I'm more like upset about.
Yeah.
If I have to pick something.
I'm not.
At this point, I don't want him on.
No, I'm not pleased with how it all turned out. Is really the bottom line.
Right.
Like we're not E! News. We're not TMZ. We're too. It's Margot. Sounding like Darth Vader.
She sounds like a goddamn fucking gremlin over there.
Yeah, she acts like one sometimes. We're not a gossip channel. We're
did a whole lot of gossiping this episode.
Fuck it. Here we go. All the way motherfucking back around. Somehow I re-remembered this. I will never let anyone or anything stop this from happening. I mean, obviously, if you're like, Jared, I'm done.
Then you'd have to keep going on your own.
I don't know if I'd keep someone Savants. I might just let sleeping dogs lie. You better not do that. One, no one will stop this. And more important, because stuff in my life, stuff on social media, fear of embarrassment or ridicule has almost made me censor some of the things I say here. And I do want to be responsible. I don't want to get myself in trouble, get somebody else in trouble, more
like
importantly. Well, someone like who matters. But on this podcast, and it will get proven over time because people can only keep up an act for so long. This is how, if the cameras and mics weren't here, this is how Zach and I would talk. I mean, that's it. So the people who come to me and like, you should be embarrassed about some of the stuff you talk about. Like, why? Don't you talk about stuff like this? Well, yeah, but not in public. Well, why? So you're kind of being a phony. I'm not saying everybody who doesn't get on the internet and say, my dick, blah, 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 is a phony. But don't come at me. You see what I'm trying to say? Like,
I know. It's like, don't come at me when the only difference with me is I'm just allowing people to hear this.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to say it. I've always talked this way. Now, here's where we get a tad like interesting, if you want to call it that. Out of respect for, I'll use my family, or even if I was like around your family, I don't think I'd be Mr. Fuck Shit Piss Dick. Like, I'm fine if they watch me say that.
Yeah, because the difference is they can choose to listen. They can choose not to.
Right. So you don't want to, that's a good point. You don't want to subject somebody that you know it might make them uncomfortable to listen to what you have to say. That's the thing. Yeah, this is a choice.
Yeah, this is a choice to tune in on this conversation.
Yeah.
Which is why, like, certain things, like, I won't ever indulge on here because if people choose to listen, you know, I'm not going to...
What would you indulge? What do you mean?
I don't know, just, like,
indulge
family stuff or
divulge?
anything. Just
you would
divulge, whatever.
Yeah, indulge is like giving in, like...
I'm indulging.
In
I guess that could work. I can indulge in the act of spilling my private life.
Yeah, that's true. I actually... what?
No,
you interrupt me like you do.
You actually interrupted me. You're like, that's
what?
true. Back to you. Me.
On our Wikipedia page, I'll just put host Jared Shepard, reoccurring guest Zach Roundy.
Wow, he recurs in every episode.
Hey.
I'm the Tom Segura of your show.
Getting into what you had just said.
I don't mean that by humor, by the way.
What you had just said.
The choice.
The choice is yours. Personal life. I'm not the sharpest right now. I more recently have been getting more into everything Barstool Sports. I followed them for a very long time. I'll watch their videos. Dave Portnoy does the pizza reviews, and they're hilarious. But I just kind of like, for the first time ever, actually, the other night, I couldn't sleep, and I used Reddit. I don't really go on Reddit. You know where I'd go on Reddit was when I was doing drugs to see, like, how many drugs can I do? Like, they just talk about, like, don't do this.
Yeah, that's where I look up any getting stuff into festivals. Like, I looked Reddit
nefarious
was the place
things
to go.
you need, yeah. Which, honestly, people, like, this shouldn't be on the internet. Why? That's probably saving people's lives. It probably saved my life because back when I didn't know shit, I thought like, ooh, it might be cool. Like, can you mix like Xanax and Percocet? And I wouldn't be here right now if I did that. And I looked it up, and they're like, absolutely do not. So
yeah, and first off, who are you to say what should be on the internet?
The people are going to do it anyways. Here's something for you. I jump all over. I agree with you with the personal life thing.
Yeah.
Because on Barstool, there's been 2 different people who they're the big figures in the company, and their relationship and their lives, even their children, were very public. And then because of that, I mean, I'm not breaking any story here. One of the guys was cheating on his wife and started when she was 8 months pregnant. And she thinking like, well, it's going to come out anyways. And I don't necessarily fault her for doing this, because the internet, when they want to figure something out, they will. She posted like a message like, this is what's going on. I wanted to get ahead of it and tell you the truth before stuff, because my husband's a public person. We have a public life, and now it's done. And he made a video. He said, look, this is a piece of shit thing to do. He owned it. He said, my bad. And I mean, they're not together, but they're moving on. And another guy, same thing. His wife was a big part of his brand, if you want to call it that. And they divorced, and it's a bad look. So I agree with you on that front. Like, if I ever have children, there's some people.
And plus, they got to make their own life. Involving them into something like that kind of like already kind of puts something on them, like like in a direction their life could be influenced to go by.
Yeah. Well, what's creepy.
And it might be branded on. So, like, if you leave them out of things and leave them out of public eye, they're free to kind of like carve their own way without a massive like spotlight or influence or people telling thinking of how they should go. Like, you should do what they're doing, or I don't know. Yeah. Just kind of gives them more of a free slate.
No, you're right.
To live life.
There's been instances. Bert Kreischer is very open about his daughters and talking about them. And he says people will come up to him on the street and say, hey, man, how's George's knee? Like a grown man. And he's looking at him like, are you, what? And he's like, and then he has to realize like, oh, I was talking about this 2 days ago on a podcast, so can't really get mad at this guy. I mean, it was creepy. He came up and asked.
Right, but nonetheless.
And I think I was explaining that in another episode. I don't think it was the last. It might have been the second to last. You feel like you know these people. I'm sure there's people, if they've consistently listened to us, it feels like these people are your friends. I'll be listening to Rogan, and honestly, this just happened before you came. I had it on while I was setting everything up, and he asked the question, when did Ari Shaffir, one of his friends, become a paid regular at the Comedy Store? He's like, I can't remember. And I knew the answer. It was like, oh, it was when you went back for the first time since you left for 7 years. Like, that's happened on multiple occasions. He's like, what were we just talking about? I'm like, I know. Tell me. I'll say it. And while, I mean, and it's just because that's pretty much all I do listen to. I'm not obsessive with it, but when I listen to something, it's that. And
do you listen to music anymore?
Not much. And I listened to it the other day, and I wanna say this. I listened to it the other day on my way to my therapy session.
You should listen to more.
Yeah.
But anyway, keep going.
And I listened to Kanye's album when it came out, but I was driving to my session and put Kanye on. I was in a good mood. I was texting you. We We couldn't do the one day for the podcast. We could do today, so we set that up. I was texting and driving. It wasn't good. And then a song from his album, Kanye's album Life of Pablo, came on, and it reminded me of my best friend Matt Proctor, who died in a car accident down south in Miami late at night. No one knows what was going on. And it kind of, when that happened, he and I weren't talking. I had been taking drugs pretty consistently and let relationships fall off. I let Zach and I's relationship just kind of, it became non-existent. And without getting into like the super nitty-gritty details, fuck it, because I think this is actually important. We weren't talking, and just before that, I mean, he was one of those friends since elementary school that just became my brother. Every weekend for however many years, I was at his house, or he came to mine. Mainly it was his house. His house was fun. And it's because his mom would she was a lawyer, so she had to work quite a bit, understandably, single mother. And so we'd have the house to ourselves to do dumb shit. And we got older, we made music together. And once I started taking pills, it really we didn't talk anymore. And then it came time for my wedding, and for whatever reason, it felt awkward. I think one of our interactions previous to that, we had fought, and I, on drugs, lied to him and said, I'm having a small wedding. Nobody's really going to be in it, which was a lie. I didn't want to face the awkwardness. He was like one of the ones who knew the real truth of what was going on. I didn't want him to expose me. I don't know. I wasn't in my right mind. And I lied to him. And then, I mean, like weddings do, the pictures came out, and I guess somebody tagged me or someone he knew in one of them, and he saw it, and the last thing he sent to me was a picture of me standing up there with Zach and a couple other guys, and he just said, "Really?" And I never responded to him. And then maybe a year after that, he passed away in that car accident. And when I was driving, listening to that song, it's like I finally found out for the first time, and was a hysterical mess. It was after we had stopped talking, because I was like, I was pumped. And I mean, I say that whole story, and it kind of seems cheesy, but don't be on bad terms with people, because you don't fucking know. Especially loved ones. I mean, he was a loved one of mine. He pretty much was my brother. And I mean, I think about him a lot. And I must have, the drugs and then everything else, I think I just suppressed the feelings. Like, I went to his funeral, wasn't happy about it. I didn't cry. I was kind of there to be like the moral support for everybody. I don't know. I don't know. I was just there. And I have not listened to music in a very long time. I listened to Kanye's new album, which was so different. It didn't really take me back anywhere. But then hearing the song that just he and I would sit in his car, smoking pot, just in his driveway, just laughing, having a good time. Not, whatever, that's what we were doing. If you don't like it, sorry. And yeah, it instantly took me right back there. So you're right, I do need to listen to music more. That's a heavy thing. And what's cool is I know him better than anybody, and he probably knew me better than anybody at the time. So I know for a fact he'd be fine fucking making light of it, kind of joking. Like, he's how there's times like at a funeral, if somebody makes a joke and some people might deem it inappropriate. There was a comedian who died almost a year ago, and they held his funeral at the Comedy Store. And what was so great about it, everyone was very sad, people were crying, and he killed himself, this guy, the comedian. And this is just an example, and it's kind of fucked up, but whatever. Do you know Jeff Ross, the guy who does the roasts, the bald guy?
Mm-hmm.
Before him, Brody Stevens, the guy who he killed himself, battled with some mental illness, but he was fucking like everybody's favorite comedian. He was just one of those, like, so talented, but for some reason the cards never fell right. Just for fame, like big fame, even though he more than deserved it. His childhood friends went up and spoke and kind of gave their thing. And then Jeff Ross gets up there and says, "Man, after hearing Brody's childhood friends, it's no wonder he killed himself." And everyone's like, and then they kind of realize, like, he would be laughing at that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing, like with Matt, like just roasting each other. You and I do that. It's like my favorite thing. Honestly, the funniest stuff is like when you or somebody else makes fun of me. I don't know, that went down a big diatribe of somewhat depressing stuff, but I think obviously they say, like, give people flowers while they can still smell them, but it's one of those things that you don't get until it happens to you. Same with addiction. And I know you've had like a host of things, like they say don't blah blah blah, and then you're like, yeah, I know, you do it anyways, and then it happens to you, you're like, oh God, excuse me. So is there any point in giving people advice?
I think there is.
It has value.
Because they can take it or leave it.
Yeah.
It's just there.
I'd say more times than not, even if I end up doing it later, I can't say I leave it because I think it enters my subconscious and then I make a decision.
I think you can take it, but acting on it's the next part.
Oh, I very rarely reject somebody's advice.
Right. But I believe it's still, there's a point.
Yeah.
Because maybe if you didn't have someone to tell you that thing, no one did. And then you say, why is this happening to me?
Yeah. I was just, especially with like addiction and stuff, everybody's saying like you got to get help, you got to do this, you got to do that. But it wasn't until I was ready to really stop that something clicked.
It's a lot.
Dicks.
and stuff.
That should have been the name of this podcast. No, I don't know. I didn't want to say much. I didn't want to really go down that road.
No, but fuck it. I mean, you went down the road. There's no harm.
The main thing I don't want to indulge.
You're talking about down the road of what you just said.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now I'm doing what my brain does, which is ping pong. The main thing I'd be hesitant to divulge information on is immediate family. But then even then, with like Bert Kreischer and people who are just like, here's my family. I have somewhat of a respect for it because Bert Kreischer is so himself and so transparent. And that's not to say people who don't show their families aren't, but he's just, his podcast is and just him is, he's like one of those people you're just like, I could fucking hang with this dude. Like I could be his best friend. I think that all the time because he just, and I feel like that's how I am. I'm not afraid to tell people things. I'm not afraid to embarrass myself. I'm not afraid to say I was addicted to pills. I stole somebody's pills. I got arrested. I went to rehab. I'm on house arrest. I'm a convicted felon for a little bit because I am. I'm not like, I'm a felon and I'm proud, but I don't know why, if it happened to me, I mean, why can't I talk about it? And really, I think it could help somebody else because I toyed with I'm talking a lot too, so just cut me off whenever you want.
I'm listening. It's kind of a heavy topic, so I mean, giving it the respect it deserves.
I'm bringing it back around to Dixon stuff. A while ago, and I don't want to give away this idea because I still want to do it. I remember my initial podcast idea where... Yeah.
First name basis?
Yes, you got it. And someone's had to have done that. Fuck it. It was going to be like addiction and recovery based. And could you just, that mouse pad, just shake it one time? I don't know why it keeps going black. Sorry. And I toyed with that idea. I did a couple from the rehab I was at. They were gracious enough to, I bought microphones and everything and did a couple. But then it kind of hit me. And I don't have an agenda with this, but to me, the only people, and this is my opinion, and I'd like your opinion on the matter, and it's not just with this subject because it goes with a lot of things. And then we can wrap this up because I think we're about a little over an hour. I can't see, or I have not heard of or seen many people in active addiction who are going to seek out, this is Jared's recovery podcast about talking about being clean. Some might, but to me, I want to just have this open platform, talk about my life, and I think that will reach and or it's got potential to reach or impact many more people because even let's do a religious example. You love your faith, your religion, doesn't matter which one, and you want other people, you're like, everyone needs to feel what I'm feeling. And I mean, there's nothing really wrong with that if you feel good and you want others to feel good too. But how many times like people who come up to you, Zach, you need to get with my religion. Come to church with me. Do this, do that. Come on, you're going to hell. We need to do this, Zach. You're like, I'm actually now going to do the exact opposite of what you want, because that's annoying. But if you and I are just hanging, just going, getting a beer, hanging out, and I just start bringing it up, or you say something like, how are you just so positive all the time? And then like it organically happens.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So, and my agenda with this podcast is not like secretly get people in recovery. I mean, I wish people who need it would. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like, I love what we're doing with this, and it goes beyond addiction. I mean, you could be talking about you're having a hard time. I don't want to use this example because it's not real, but like one of us has to like put our animal down, and you're just talking about it, and you say blah blah blah, this helped me. It just can help anybody.
I see what you're saying.
Not a focused thing. I don't know. I was thinking about that today.
Yeah, and also too, addiction comes in many forms.
Yeah, it's not just
substance abuse.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe it could help someone who's, I don't know,
gambling,
addicted to being controlling with an individual. I mean, the list could go on.
Yeah.
But, you know, you just take what you can from it, and hopefully there's plenty to take.
That's where I can, I guess, offer some Aaron Carter sympathy. I think he's got a dual diagnosis. This is my opinion. I think he's got a dual diagnosis going on of, I think there's a mental illness, and I think he's throwing substances on top of that, even if it's just marijuana. If you're schizophrenic or if you have any mental disorder, marijuana is just going to make it worse. Mm-hmm. That's been proven. It's sent people into manic and schizophrenic episodes. So I don't think I'm not a doctor, but that's where I'm like, yeah, he does piss me off, but I was in rehab with a lot of dudes who acted just like him. And I had to be patient until they corrected themselves.
Were they malicious, though, like him?
No, I don't think. I do think he has some malintent because he's scamming people and hurting people and animals. But no, these people were just hurt themselves, and I'm sure he is too, by something. Mm-hmm. But I've seen, there was this one guy I was in rehab with. Do you have to pee? Oh, you're just sitting up like a studious person.
Yeah, my back was starting to not agree with my position a second ago.
Yeah, we'll get up here in a second. I'll just say this. I've seen, that's one of the cool things about the rehab experience I had is I've seen people from, one, all walks of life, and two, all over the, for lack of a better word, spectrum of mental conditions. And it's real. People who like suck it up, or you don't need insurance, shouldn't cover mental stuff. It's just like a broken leg, just a broken brain. There was this one kid, and he was Iranian, I believe. Very nice. Like when you're talking to him, he's chill. He's a cool guy. He was really good at piano, like crazy good at piano. And he was schizophrenic. And he would, when I first came, I just noticed he'd walk, there's a big corridor of like where the rooms were. He would just walk up and down the corridor, and then he'd start muttering like stuff in Arabic, like under his breath. Mm-hmm. And I mean, to anybody, even if it was a regular, like a English, he spoke English, but if someone was doing that in English, that'd freak me out just as much. But the Arabic is just like, what's going on here? I don't understand what he's saying. And he would like look at you a little too long. And then I finally figured out he was schizophrenic, and credit to him, which marijuana sent him into that. Credit to him, he kept taking medicine. And I don't know if he was cured, but he got a lot better where you could really have a conversation with him. And I sat down with him. I was like, what? I don't mean to be rude. I just don't know. And I'd rather hear from you than read about it. What is it like to be schizophrenic? And he said, you sit there and you hear voices, audible, like you and me talking to each other, that same volume, everything, voices. And you're like, that's not real. That's a fake voice. That's in my head. But it just keeps going and going and going and doesn't stop till you're eventually like, I think Zach is trying to kill me. And that's why they go, like, they'll get at people. Like, you're not going to kill me. I'm going to get you first. And the voice, it's in a crude way, it's like the devil and angel.
So when they are talking and mumbling to themselves, are they just talking back? What are they doing?
I think so. And that's why we had another lady who that was the case, and sadly she did not do well. You'd be sitting in groups, and just all of a sudden she'd be looking, and then like looking at you like, how could you? And the thing I noticed is both of them at least stared for an uncomfortable amount of time, to the point where some people are like, quit fucking staring at me, and there'd be blow-ups. It was interesting. So now that Jared has hijacked the last 30 minutes of this podcast with serious talk, what you got going on this week?
To be determined.
It's that time of year?
Yeah. I mean, if I get work, I get work from the one, and if I don't, I'm going into the other one.
I got to get a job.
They're out there. Tomorrow I'm going to a really cool event. Going to an event at SAC Comedy Lab.
Oh, yeah.
Has nothing to do with comedy. It's just the hosting venue for another legislative type event for a film in Florida.
I like that
I get to meet Lori Wyman for the first time.
She's pretty.
My agent will be there.
Nice.
Too, so.
Yeah, I want to say, at least locally in Ocala, Travolta has been pretty vocal about, like, let's get film here.
I feel like he could do more. Because it's proven to be pretty difficult.
Yeah, well, I don't think he even wants to.
Well, when you're John Travolta, you're like, fuck it, I'll just fly to LA.
He's got his own plane. He kind of probably wants to fly.
Mm-hmm.
He saved our downtown theater. It was going to get closed, and he bought it.
Oh, really?
Or he donated to it. And
enough money to.
And it's pretty dope. It's like really old school. Oh, that's cool. I got things in the works. I don't want to say anything about the business venture I'm starting just yet. But once I do, we'll need the somewhat Savants crew to
help out.
What do we call our fans? I thought about like the Savants, but
What's a step below a savant?
I don't know. We'll have to Google it. You don't know how many times I look, like when I'm like, I don't want to say that word, so I'll look up savant synonym. And I scroll through thesaurus.com.
It'll come.
Yeah.
Don't know yet, but it'll come.
Alrighty, I think that's an episode.
All right.